and everyone else is being able to see us at youtube.com/@CMPPUG. Needless to say, it's delayed for your protection, I guess. However YouTube does it. But it's good to be back. Hey, Mr. Craig, how are you? I heard you took a trip. Uh-oh. Mr. Craig's on mute.
No, I think I'm speaking there. Can you hear me?
Barely. What happened?
I didn't have this microphone close to me, and I wasn't.
I see.
I
was saying I heard you took a trip.
Yeah, I went to Germany, but I had so I also
instead
had
of going to the Power Platform Conference, I decided to go to Germany.
Yeah, so instead of the Power Platform Conference, I went on vacation with my family to Germany. Okay. We went to Munich, but right after Oktoberfest, so I didn't get that, but I still have my fair share of German beers.
There we go. I saw that little Sound of Music thing going on over there. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, we did the Sound of Music tour, my wife's favorite musical and my daughter's favorite musical. A fun fact about that we didn't know was that Sound of Music was never made into a German version. So Germans don't really know it. So when we were telling, like, my wife's cousin lives in Munich and she wanted to visit a friend who lived by Stuttgart, they're like, what is Sound of Music? Like, their musicals that they liked were like Mamma Mia and something else. I can't remember.
Well, if you recall from the movie, it may not have been necessarily geared to that audience.
Yeah, no, I get it, but they live like 45 minutes away from Salzburg, and they had never really been to Salzburg, which is a beautiful town in and of itself. If you're not doing Sound of Music,
same, like it hasn't changed much from it actually compared to the movie. Frankly, I'm like,
no.
Wow.
And then Mozart was born there, so we got to see where Mozart's house was, and the oldest restaurant they say it's the oldest restaurant in Europe is also part of St. Peter's, I think the Abbey, not the Abbey where the nun was, or not the monastery, maybe that's where it was. Right. So it was originally started in like 803, and Mozart had his family had eaten there, and I mean it's probably not the same continuous owner, but somebody else had I can't remember, famous person. Oh, they said Christopher Columbus had eaten there. But it's kind of cool because it's built right into this one of the mountains or hills that are there. So,
and they were alive, of course.
Yeah, and what I didn't know about it without taking the tour is Salzburg actually was a like a city owned by the Vatican. So it was a little city state for the longest time, owned by the Vatican. So it's got a lot of churches and cool things like that. If you're monasteries and
about it, folks. Come to the Power Platform Conference and get some travel tips.
Yeah, but then in around 1800 or so, or like 200 years ago, it got annexed by Austria and became part of Austria. There you go. There's your travel tips.
There we go.
And
I could have been watching Channel 11, but I can talk to Craig about it and follow his Instagram feed instead. Speaking of Instagram and socials, we're on. I think, Raquel, you can now turn us on for the live show.
I think she did.
She already did? Oh, so we're actually live. Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was what I was saying.
You've been live all this time?
Because I was hearing you in both ears.
All right. So our travel tips went out there to the wild, to the YouTube. So this is interesting, folks. If you wanted to catch a recap for tonight, just go to the YouTube channel and just rewind or just watch it over. This goes public pretty much as soon as we go, unless we say something really egregious that pulls us down.
Yeah, so we have our old ones out there too. So if you
our previous shows. All right, so if you missed something, maybe you'll see it. In fact, I would dare to compare what we're about to do here today from just a few months ago when we were talking about AI and all the Power Platforming stuff that was going on. You might see a difference. Just a thought. All right. Let's proceed then. That way folks can get going and on their lives here sooner. Hold on, let's hit the play button on here. All right, a little agenda. We're going to do our little welcome, just what's about our session, which is essentially we're recapping the Power Platform Conference over here. And yeah, I'm MVP Ralph. I think this looks like a Craig edit. I'll take it. All right. We'll have some closing questions. Believe it or not, we answer any questions, including. And by the way, for those who are faint of heart or Microsoft reps, the L word may be used today. You know what the L word is, right? Licensing. Yes, the L word, the scariest word in the show business. Where they all say like, oh, we don't want to talk about license. No one wants to talk about Bruno or licensing, but we dare take those questions as well. And mainly because, as you'll find out, I'm actually getting to do this for real in a little bit, and we'll talk about that. Okay, first, introducing your host with the most, uh, the Grand Vizier of Travel and Power Platform, Senior Craig.
Yes, I wish I knew more about Power Platform, but as every day I feel like I know less and less. So, but Craig Jenke, I am what am I, Vice President over Digital Solutions at EXL. So we're probably kind of a competitor to Ralph's company, but we play along with each other.
A lot of stuff, a lot of work going around there. So
yeah,
we're not too worried.
But we so we do outsourcing. AI is like we're leaning heavily into AI. We do the Power Platform, and that's pretty much what I'm in charge of it. But we have other technologies that are very similar, like UiPath. Can't remember. Avion? No, that's not it. I want to say Avion, but that's Appian. There we go.
Appian.
We do some ServiceNow stuff too.
Very good.
And then we primarily, actually, our bigger competitor is probably Cognizant because we do a lot of what you call staff aug. It's out of India, so
the staff augies.
That is really where we got started, and now we're into the consulting business and implementing solutions and things like that over the last few years.
And there we go.
That
and
is me
in Chicago, or in our area, I should say.
Yes, so we live in Chicago, which is the Chicago Power Platform User Group. If you're new to the group, me and Ralph basically started this thing up about 4 years ago before the pandemic. Yeah, it's actually been one of probably the longest running group for a while. We always have done a mix of live we had always done a mix of live and virtual, even from when we started. Because if you live in the Chicago area, it's really hard to make it downtown sometimes. And if you're out in the suburbs, it's really hard to make it out in the suburbs sometimes. So we would alternate where we had location, but we'd still broadcast it from Teams. When the pandemic hit, we just kept going with it. And now we need to get some live. We have met once in person since the pandemic ended, but we're going to have to try to shoot for that for maybe.
And we had pizza and everything. So, for those who were there and partook of, Lumalnatis.com.
We might have even had some beer, but I don't remember.
We might have. That's just a vicious rumor that's been going around that there might have been some beverages involved in the.
So our next one, I got a request if we could meet in person for one of these. So one of our next ones will be a in person if you want to come downtown to Chicago. But we'll always have some kind of stream going, so that
correct.
Our fans,
so we'll do that. I mean, if you come down, I'll let you say the rewards will be there. We're not going to go there empty-handed. Like I said, last time we had Luz. Actually, Luz started following us a little bit. I don't know if you noticed in the socials. I was hitting up Hedda Cook, Miss Hedda Maven at Hedda Maven. She's the head of all community stuff for the Power Platform stuff that's going on. She's going to be speaking, and it's the same place we're speaking on, coming up soon. And so we tagged her with Lumalnatis because that's apparently, she was saying, this is it's a ceremony for her family, or at least at home, that they will order Luz because it comes over. They can ship it anywhere in the United States, so they would do it on certain special occasions. And she was looking forward to having it live as opposed not shipped where she had to cook it, right?
Really,
and then I tagged them, and they were like, "We tell us everything about it." So I'm thinking we might have a sponsor there, Mr. Craig.
Because as much as we bought from them over this and the different SharePoint Saturdays that we run, and the M365 conferences, and as much free plug as we got, they should give us a pizza.
Who knows? Who knows? Well, Portillo's, Wiener Circle, God knows. All these people are all on our list. Maybe We should
Oh,
start
Garrett's
getting
popcorn is the other
non-technical
one.
people on our food on our food list. Bagger, whatever. All right, but
All
Lunar
right, so
support.
then there's Ralph. Ralph is from Sagetti. Ralph, tell us about yourself, and then let's get hopping into
Yes.
this.
So I'm thinking food right now because it's dinner time. I'm with Sagetti, a part of Capgemini. We were a sponsor. Capgemini was a sponsor of the Power Platform Conference. I actually talked them into it, and I'll take credit for talking them into it because it turned out to be a very good idea, and I'll mention more about that later in the program. I'm a national solutions architect. I'm in the corporate area, so I pretty much cover the country, at least for the United States. But my peers are global, so I'm actually dealing with Microsoft at the partner level, at the, I guess, near as nosebleed level as we can get, which I'm very humbled to be part of, at the very least. And I'm also an MVP. Craig became an MVP as well. I'm also an MVP in the space, so I get sometimes to hear the same news twice in a week from the same people. They're like, "Hey, didn't I just talk to you the other day?" I say, yeah, that's right. So the MVPs get talks, the partners get talks, but there's so much going on that stuff can be missed. So the good thing on my end is, at least I'll catch stuff that maybe I won't be able to catch because I'm with a client or busy or something else, and I'll catch it on the upside. Or Craig will catch it, or Craig will, if he misses something, he'll catch it for me. Well, and I don't mean something bad, but usually information, which is okay. And we have my daughter is actually our producer right now. She's our streaming us live into YouTube right now. Say hi, Raquel. She's not on the she's on the line, but she's there behind. There's my daughter. She's gonna be famous one day. She's gonna get an Emmy, and all of this will be paid for. This will be wonderful. Anyways, in the meantime, I am going to be the main speaker for tonight.
I put our Twitter handles in the chat because that's just usually probably
it's in the chat here for our regular folks over here. And if you go, feel free, if you're following us on social media on X, just at CMPPUG, and we'll be and usually I'll tag at CMPPUG. I usually at my user group so that anything that I put on, I will inform them and share the love with.
And if you want to connect with us on LinkedIn, I'm assuming that you could do a search for us.
Yes.
I am the Craig Janke who works for EXL. I am not the Craig Janke who is a teacher in Huntley, or a Craig Janke who is a walleye fisherman in Appleton, Wisconsin.
A walleye? Really? There's a walleye fisherman called Craig
There's a
Janke?
professional walleye fisherman in Wisconsin.
Smokes.
There's also like a couple of
I have to think through my friendships here. Geez. Walleye fishing, just getting the taste. All right, too much dinner food. In the meantime, let's we have a small live audience in our area over here. We try to keep it. We don't try to keep it small. It's how it ends up, because folks get busy and everything else. Maybe we should. Who do you see there that's online? Anyone we know that we want to say hi and say, "Hey, I came here to see this, and I only got this crazy shirt to go home with"? Or
well, we can start. I usually go alphabetical order who's in the guest list. So.
And by the way, if you don't want to be online because it is streaming, and if you're on witness protection, just say so in the chat, and we'll digitize you.
I'm gonna guess Iceland. Ayslan. I have no idea how to pronounce that. I tried. Iceland. You want to tell us who you are, where you're from?
Hi guys. I'm from Brazil, and
Brazil.
Yes. I found your
Have you been here before? We've had people from Brazil before. Sorry if I don't remember everything.
Excellent. From Brazil. Where in Brazil, by the way?
In the middle of Brazil, in the city's name is Goiânia.
Yes, I have heard of that. Yes. Wow.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Do you do Power Platform stuff there? Is that your what you work with, or are you like a business person that's using?
No, I only did some things with Power BI a few years ago, and now I'm trying to learn something new, like Power Platform, Power Apps. So I'm new in this whole thing,
Excellent.
Thank you.
Well, welcome. You came at the right time. The AI masters are now going to be your friends as you begin to learn it. Perfect. All right. So all
Next
of a
person I
sudden,
got up is
yes.
Daryl.
Thank you so much. Excellent.
Thank you.
Who do we have? We have Daryl.
Daryl.
Say hello to our friends. Daryl might be having
Michael
dinner.
was the first one through the door, so
That's true. So Daryl might be in the green room still, checking on things. Let's check with Michael. Monsieur Michael, would you like to say hi to the group? You're the first one here.
Hi, I'm Michael Gavramedin. I'm located in Chicago.
oh,
Excellent. Is
What
this
do
your
you do in
first time to our
Chicago,
meeting? Is this your first time to our meeting, or have you been here before? It seemed familiar.
No, this is the first time that I'm attending a meeting, but I've been doing Dynamics 365 for the last 13 years. So
Whoa.
I'm
Okay,
a while.
so we won't give away your
Probably
age.
more
But
stuff than we
wow,
do.
that's big. 65. You know, I'm going to call it the premium service. There we go. Oh, there we go. Hello. And there's Daryl.
Yeah, sorry. I'm used to Zoom. I couldn't figure out how to unmute the mic.
Oh, okay.
We
There
don't
we
use
go.
that. That's a
Well, let's
four-letter
catch up
word.
with Daryl. Michael, thank you. And meanwhile, Daryl, say hi. Hi, Daryl.
Hi. Yeah. So I'm in Chicago, up in Uptown, and I'm an attorney, and I'm making trying to make a drafting app for attorneys, and so I'm doing a lot of merge codes and whatnot. My idea is to use Power Platform for the case management part of it. Ooh. And I'm just about ready to turn. The drafting app is probably going to be finished today or tomorrow. I've been working on it for 28 years.
Oh my gosh. So finally you found a technology that's going to make it work.
Well, my first programming language was BASIC, which I was talking to some OpenAI guys, and they called it
I'm
a
actually
dead
a lot
language.
older than I look. So yeah.
Yeah, no, we were all.
Yeah, back in the days when we loaded it with a cassette tape.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
My Commodore 64.
Yeah. So it's nice meeting you.
Excellent. So by the way, I'm also in Uptown. Well, not Uptown exactly. I'm in Ravenswood, which is next door to Uptown. So I'm not too far away. You know, downwind from the lake and upwind from the Cubs fans who try to park in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
So if you need any help, just knock on Ralph's door.
Yeah,
well,
that sounds good, man.
As some of them you do, trying to figure out where the heck they parked.
Yeah, I kind of hang out at Emerald City Coffee, bring my laptop in there, and
Nicey nice. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Let's go down the list.
Yeah, I'm actually way out in the western suburbs, out in St. Charles. So
yes, we're connected to the outskirts and the inner skirts.
So Smith is the last person on our list as a guest.
Yes.
Hey guys, hi. This is Smith here. Of course, I live in Chicago. I live closer to the West Loop, and I have been working with Power Platform specifically since the past 2 years. Power Apps, Power Automate, and lately I've actually explored a bit of AI within the Power Platform, so I was kind of pretty intrigued. So yeah, this is my first time, so yeah, just wanted to attend this, and yeah.
Thanks.
Well, welcome to the live show, as they say, instead of chatting on YouTube. Very good.
Absolutely.
We have someone came and then they're like, oh, this is not the place. You know, it is when you walk into a room.
I actually know
wait a minute.
The name looked familiar, so
it might be that he's going to try to figure out his sound or something. But that was David. But maybe we'll come back later. Anyway, so the folks that were on the live show, you're now in history of this show, and we're going to keep you there.
We appreciate you coming live. We had over 60 people registered
from all over. We've had folks from New Zealand here. Remember that time? We had they were coming in from New Zealand, and of course from England, Germany. I'm trying to think of where's the furthest
Vancouver. I think Japan. We had somebody from Japan one.
We had someone from Japan one time. That's right. I tell you, Japan and New Zealand would be about equidistant, far away from us, pretty much. So not definitely and for our near shores, like Brazil would be considered at least in our quote unquote close to our time zone, so not so bad. Great. Okay,
right. Ralph, let's go. Let's
move
because we want to get out of here before 7 because I don't want to keep everybody.
Okay. Oh, Craig's got an agenda. All right, really quickly now. Here's our link to the official user group area, which is under the power users area. Microsoft is still trying to push the beautiful community area. What's good about this area is not so much that you'll find our user group information over there, but that's where you would go to find the forums and other activities like the program that I'll talk about later on to get to learn stuff. Essentially, if you want to think about becoming an MVP or be someone heavy in the community, this is a must go and must participate in place to get through. In one way, shape, or form, we're going to suggest you come to this link. All right. I'll leave that there. Oh, by the way, I can give you there a few moments. That's why we put the QR code so you can take a picture. Take a picture. Okay.
I'll throw the deck out on Meetup. I'll put a link to it after the show,
Yes.
probably tomorrow morning.
Meanwhile, yes, we're going to be on. We have a show. Both of us. You have
Yes.
a discount code? Apparently, I have a discount code. I did not know that.
You have a discount code, right?
Why did I? What am I doing paying for? No, I'm sorry. We are speaking at EduCon Chicago. This used to be SharePoint Fest. I don't know if anyone might remember. It used to be back in the day called SharePoint Fest a long time ago. It has updated into EduCon because it covers the whole M365 ecosystem and everything else. And how many sessions are you giving out there, Craig?
I just got two. I have one on AI Builder and I have one on Power Platform ALM.
Wow. Okay, so that's just two. Well, those are heavy. I also have two, and mine is on. I remember I said for those who are faint of heart, the L word shall be used. Mine is on licensing. The first time I've actually given the licensing course since 2021. It went to sleep mainly because it got all cut up, and also because Microsoft was literally changing the game on a monthly basis. And it turns out that it's probably a good idea to have a licensing course when Microsoft is changing things on a monthly basis. And so it turned out that somebody wanted it again. It's coming back to life. I'm also doing the hour-long version of the was it the DevTools? No, it's the ALM tools. I believe I'm doing. What's the ALM tools? I'm sorry, not you doing ALM tools. I'm doing admin tools. At the Power Platform Conference, I gave a session. I'll talk about that in a little bit. That was 25 minutes long. It was supposed to be an hour, which is going to be at this particular conference, and that was 25 minutes long, and you'll see what that is in a little bit. For folks that are in Chicago, if you feel like making it, it is, as they say, if you're going there, as they say, go for the gusto, because there's a lot of stuff that's going in there. Don't go for just one little show. I do believe they give an option of going to either the entire conference or to a single day of the conference. So that might be something to think about. But otherwise, that's where we're going to be next. All right. Some final notes before we start over here. Final words. I'm going to talk basically what we're talking about in the Power Platform Conference, everything else. These are some of the opinions you will hear are from us. They're not necessarily Microsoft speaking or our companies coming over to speak. We might sound like it, but it's really, this is just a user group. We're all trying to share it at the community basis. You won't hear NDA stuff over here because at least we're pretty disciplined not to give that stuff up. At least so far, we've been disciplined about it. And at the end of the day, it's the vendor that knows all, that can tell all, that can say, yep, that's the price for something. And yeah, that's your price for something. It'll be Microsoft at the end of the day for all documentation and the last word on things to work. Yes? All right. Let's proceed. Yes, MPPC. What a show. It was a pretty big show. It was in Vegas. Of course, it was Vegas at the MGM Grand. So in fact, that room over there apparently is where they have the fights, the arena. That was the arena essentially turned around into a stage. I don't know if Mike Tyson bit someone's ear there. I know that I've heard that happen in Vegas, but nope, I don't think that's the place necessarily. But that's Charles Lamanna that you see over there. I'm going to give you one immediate impression of the show. It was a lot bigger than people thought it was going to be. And the indicator to me was when even the Microsoft people were surprised that announcements were made, because Microsoft does not do announcements except for Build, Ignite, Inspire, rinse, repeat, Build, Ignite, Inspire, or an event of their choosing, like the 9/21, the September 21st September event, where they talk about all the AI stuff and those kind of things. When Microsoft makes an announcement, it's theirs. They made announcements here, and that's what actually this episode of our user group is all about. And the fact that their leadership for the Power Platform stuff, we're all, and I'm saying this again, all of them were at this conference. It wasn't so the one they had. This is the second one, by the way, second annual. They had one last year, but not everyone went. Even on the Microsoft side for the different teams, they had a lot of folks from the teams, but there was like a lot of folks that did not go. In this one in particular, they went from about nearly 4,000 or close to 5 last time to nearly 9,000 people this time around. So it
Yeah, I was
grew.
going to say I saw some of the pictures on Twitter, and it looked like it was a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Way bigger, and the audience that you're seeing over here is just a small taste of it, but it was way bigger. There was a lot more sessions and everything else, and again, because the Microsoft management was there, you know what leadership, not management, leadership was there. Here was the big thing that happened for at least which turned out when I talked my company into sponsoring it, then they realized what a good idea that was. It's because us, along with our basically our friendly frenemies, competitors, whoever out there, we and gigantic clients that ended up sending their people there, and in fact high-level people there, were able to interact with Microsoft leadership. So this turned out to be a very, very big deal, both behind the scenes and in front right there. No secrets there about how that happened. The details, of course, are left behind closed doors.
So yeah, I plan to go to the next one. I got permission to go, but just late on this.
Yeah, so that was the thing. So so I got to speak in 2 conferences, but in 2 sessions over there. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But first, let's talk about what those announcements are. I'm going to call it an AI Copilot comes out party, is what it all was. If we have time, I don't know if we'll have time to watch some of the videos. I've saved some of I took some like phone camera videos of some of the demos that we're giving because they're actually really cool. We might save those for when we're actually doing demos over here for maybe the next time we meet and actually dive into something. But essentially it was like, let's pick one of the Power Platform pieces and let's find out what's different about it. So something was announced for just about everything. One of them, Copilot Control and Power Apps through Power of Virtual Agents. What they're saying is that everyone's heard about the Copilot controls. We've been talking about it for a while. But essentially, they've gone GA or now formal, which means now if you went to your own version of Power Platform, maybe the Power Apps or Power Automate, you should see the things that were like only certain people would see, or you had to click on a box that said preview or something else. Now all of that's visible. So they were essentially announcing it as of that day, all that stuff's turned on. Second one, new Copilot functionalities for Power Pages. They have that sort of like a separate thing because they had a bunch of these things that were very, very powerful that was hidden in the preview mode for the longest time. And they decided that this conference was the day they were actually going to flip the switch and let it turn on. They decided to do some cheese moving while they were at it. Hey, what's a Microsoft month to go by without them moving cheese, right? And it was the Power Automate Flow Designer has changed. And I repeat, if you're a person that is working with flows or about to learn flows, if you're about to learn it, it's just as well that you're about to learn it because it's sort of like for the folks that have been using it for a while, there's going to be a bit of a where's the cheese unlearning process for a few things to go on. We'll probably take a look at that in a little bit as well. But that was essentially announced because they turned on the switch for that as well. And the next one, more automation in managed environments. Managed environments, they've been trying to get folks to use that a lot. It's a licensed thing to use. They're doing some very interesting things there in that area. I'm going to tell you what one specific one is. It's called a way to automatically set you up into your own dev environment, the developer environment. If you're a new user, say you're a new user, you come to that default environment. They have a way of sending you and building and standing up your own regular developer environment. So you don't have to do anything. It's all done for you, potentially. But they said that in order for this to work, you need a license. It's like, hold on a second. Developer, L word. The developer license is free. So are you saying we need a license in order to go to a place where we don't need a license? How is that working? Well, that turned out to be the automation that they did with managed environments that somehow made that work. And yes, I do have an answer for it. And no, you don't need a license. But because managed environments is involved, it means that there's options to move people through that system much more quickly with the automation tools that came with. All right, so that's a quickie on that. There's an extended version of what was called the Power App Program is what they call it. The Power App Program, let me explain it. It was a training thing. Last year, there was like a limited group of people that were going to be mentored through the system. Now they've expanded it in such a huge way. We'll look at that more in more detail. I'm wondering if I typed that in right. Power App Program. I have a feeling it's called something else. But right now, we're going to click on some links to see what it looks like here. So I click on link, stand by. All right, so here are the announcements, basically link. And the reason why I pasted the link over there as a link rather than the shortcut is so that you could yourselves go in there and type it in. So really quickly, you want to take a quick picture of that, and then you can go ahead and type it in yourself. I'm just putting that up there. All right, and basically that's what all I did is I just went to this link. All right, it's showing over here, turning the tides, and now we're talking about the innovation-wide stuff with Copilot. So they're just basically showing all the different Copilot stuff. Here's the Power Platform. I mean the Power Pages one. I'm not sure if you can hear sound on this one. I don't think this one has sound. This is just doing the quickie video for what's in it. They evolved Copilot control in Power Apps. Let's see if this one's got sound. Probably not. Let's see. So I don't hear any sound in my end either. So I'm going to say that perhaps, let me go see and check my sounds. I'm not sure if anyone's hearing anything, but I don't. And I'm saying that, nope, it's not making any sound. Let me play that one really quickly again and put it max. They're just showing essentially how the Copilot is working on side of Power Apps. You see there's a Copilot control that's over here. That stuff has improved to an extent, and you can see that this particular Copilot is showing adaptive cards in there. And then they're just basically showing how the whole system is working together. So that's a real cute little demo. If you go to the site, you'll probably get it to work. If anyone goes there and you hear sound, let me know and we'll figure out what's going on. Otherwise, here we go. The Power Automate Designer. Oh, this one. Okay, this one you got to see. Stand by. Hold on a second. Oh, this is just a zippy. Let me make it big. This is a GIF. If anyone's used to Power Automate, take a look, though. You can probably see right off the bat, wait a minute, that looks different. Right? So there's the Copilot working with Power Automate. We sort of got a teaser on that before, but look at this. When it's setting up items, remember there was that dynamic expressions that used to show up when you type stuff in there? That is not there anymore. Right now, they're showing really quickly the Copilot in action. We might actually do this here in just a moment. In fact, we will. I'm going to let this play out because I want to point out something here in particular that they really moved the cheese on. Other than this look and feel being clean, look at that. The get items showing up here on the left-hand side instead of right at the piece. That can get very confusing, actually, if you're not used to that. If you're used to finding things in a certain way, what it does for the folks that are new, it focuses what they need to do, which is really good. And it also is more compatible with the Copilot that helps you put stuff in. But for the folks that are used to having the full control of the battle station to put whatever any kind of thing in there, not so helpful until you get used to it. So let's go back here. Other things, and we talked about streamlining governance and security, and that's all it is basically saying that now you can have essentially a Copilot to generate development notes. This is the big one that they added. A Copilot to create development notes. And let me maximize this over here. Let's go see that. So for example, it's showing you over here that you got to go to environment routing. That's the one that I told you about, where it automatically tells you to create items over here. It's claiming that you need managed environments for that to work. Well, technically speaking, yes and no. It just works. So they sort of like missed their message on that one a little bit. We had a lot of talking to do to try to clear up. But right now it's showing here, it's going in. Let's go ahead and see the environment and the developer environments that are created. By the way, you know what else you can do? You can, if you're an administrator, you can set up a development environment for somebody else, which before they had to log in themselves in order to create their own. It was the only way to go. Let's see, are they still showing the same one over? Yep. So they're not showing that particular one with the Copilot doing the deployment notes, but that is also available. Basically, you click on an item and you can make your notes. The Power Platform community, it's not a Power App program, it's the Power Up program. That's what happens when you use voice to try to put your stuff in together. Maybe we'll edit this slide over here, but it's the Power Up program. I would like you guys to take a look at that. It's called powerup.microsoft.com. And if you're looking for training, I heard some of you folks are trying to learn and get more into the stuff. And even if you are used to this and you want to like really dive in and you want to get a mentor behind you, and we're talking mentors like, oh my gosh, there's Matt, is that Matt Devaney himself? There's like some famous people over here that are in this program helping you learn things because they have dedicated in order to maintain our MVP status. Not really, but because they're community minded, they're there to help you. I might even be part of this program. A rumor is, I'm just saying. All right. And look at this, 22,000 learners in 180 countries. So don't let where you're from stop you either, because this is actually way out there. So I'm going to call this as one of your programs that you probably want to look into sooner than later. If you're trying to do stuff for your own work, great for your career, here's where to go. And by the way, you're going to say, oh, what does it cost, Ralph? When you apply for the program, are they going to charge? It's community service, no charge. All right. Okay, that one I needed to show that one. All right, so let's go back to the supercharging over here. And of course, there it is saying we're going to have, of course, more announcements at Ignite. And there's Mr. Lamanna, who was there at the show. Let's see. Let's go back over here. It's in the Power App program. So, hold a second. Let me go back. Let me go back and escape. I'm going to hit escape here for just a second. I'm going to go find my edit, and because I want to make sure that you guys get at least the correct slides. And while we're speaking, it's the Power Up program. Thank you very much. There we go. Done. And autosave for the win. There we go. All right, let's take a look at this next link. Okay. Oh, no, that's not it. Previous. What happened to my link? My link is dead. All right, fine. No, let any of this stop.
Not Rich, bro.
You see what's going on over here? For whatever reason, my link there disappeared. This one is working.
In the chat, if you want to grab it from the chat.
You have it in the chat? Okay, let's go see it in the chat. Let's go see it in the chat. Chat. Where are you? In the chat. Hold on, I gotta find you. There it is. You're back here. Let's go get it out of the chat. That's the second link that
yeah, that's
hold on, it's the Power Up program. Where I was looking for that second link actually. I'm not sure why I lost it.
It's above the
This
Power
one.
Up program.
You see that one right there? For whatever reason.
It's the one with the girl sitting in the chair.
The one with the girl sitting in the chair. I don't know why this link is dead. This is really weird. Okay, and the girl sitting in the chair is the one. So let's go see it. Here we go. This is more of the bloggy style, announcing Copilot ability. So this is essentially the same thing, but now this one, the last one was from Charles Lamanna, and this fellow I got to the opportunity to interact with through the partnership as well, and that's Ryan Cunningham. He knows me, my name. If he takes it in vain, that's okay. As long as he remembers who I am, that's okay. But here we go. It's talking more specifically about the Copilot and Power Apps, the enterprise grade governance with that environment routing that they have, the modern using experiences on the Copilot. And I'm curious.
Great ideas often start from a simple question, like how can I build an app without writing a line of code? Just describe it and see your app become reality in a few moments. Or could I manage and visualize data in a more convenient way? Sure, turn your data into an app, upload it, review it, and click Create. Make better business decisions with better data insights. And to understand trends hiding in your data, Copilot can be your personal data assistant reading between the lines to uncover powerful insights. Other great ideas come from simple needs, like when you need to get information from sources beyond your app. With Microsoft Power Apps, you can have that. Point to the URL and generative answers will take care of the rest. You can further customize your Copilot as well. Or needing all your low-code security and governance to be set up in one place? Turn on managed environments and set up sharing limits. You can even automate which development environment new makers start in with environment routing. And even more ideas come from your wants. Do you want to make it easier for users to collaborate? Let employees use the apps where they need them, on desktop, in Teams, or on mobile. Or do you want to skip thinking about how your app looks and just have it work? You can. With modern controls, fluent design, and responsive functionality, developers can spend much less time on styling and more time on building. There's no limit for your great ideas with Microsoft Power Apps.
That was cute. So really quickly on that particular item, the modern controls, was not an announcement. That's been out there, so that's not an announcement. That's just showing you there's the modern controls happening to be in there. All the AI stuff that came released, yes. There's one thing that they showed on there that it was not exactly an announcement, but something that they did release. They just didn't come out and say it outright. You saw that when they were trying to do like the chat piece, and it used to only point to one URL. I think we had actually a demo of this a few months ago. We pointed to a site, and you could have generative answers from it. There was literally a choice to pick more than one or two or three sites. So imagine you're trying to put something, I don't know, for a law firm on cases. So instead of just the one site on the particular set of case law information or things to help, you can now point it to the 5 or 6 that you feel are probably better. And this is like, if you were to do this regular, you would go into Azure and set up all that stuff and do the pointers and then pay the money to have all these pieces going together. What they're literally letting you do in low code way is just, here, fill in a box. It'll just do it for you. Relax, sit back. You still have to do prompt engineering to some extent, but now it's easier to do. You don't have to really like make a JSON file and do all that crazy stuff to make it happen. So I thought that was cool that they had that in there. All right, Copilot Driver makes productivity user delight. Let's take a look at that. Let's see what that looks like here. And this is just showing, here we go. I just want to make this one big. Okay, so we're in this case, he's going to create a new table from scratch. He's doing it. Watch how he's doing it straight up from the Power App. He said, I'm going to make my table. Look at this. Create a table to track my team's blog posts. So I need, okay. I'll talk about that more about it happened at the conference situation here. All right, so there's the blog post. It's keeping track. It's putting it in. And then notice he's saying, yeah, I just want to add these things, add a URL, publishing status, and topics. Okay. I believe we gave this demo before. This is actually cool because then you don't have to worry about it not working, because sometimes you never know what you get. By the way, if you don't know already in the AI stuff, when you ask for something once and you ask again, it may give you a different answer. I think we already heard about that, but that is, how do we say it, how this stuff works these days. Okay, so it's going ahead and doing the columns. It's doing the data piece right now. Remove column content. Wow, cool. And what's happening over here is these are prompts, or I would say follow through kinds of prompts. It's sometimes, because they only give you like 250 characters to make the main thing. And essentially what you need to build may require a lot more of these to go through. And I'm going to give you one tip. The first tip you're going to hear for today is that if you're using prompts for any AI stuff, if you create a prompt that gives you a successful answer of something that you said, wow, that's really good, that gave me pretty much exactly what I wanted, save it, because that becomes your intellectual property to some extent. That's going to be the new intellectual property, almost. Like, if how you ask to get the thing that really will work. In fact, if you do it again, will it give you that and closer, or something very similar, and then you can use it again? That might exactly be a IP at one time. At the very least, though, next time you want to teach someone, or maybe like, how did I ask? And I got a good answer. You look at what you did and you see, oh, the way I asked was I said, here's who I am, and I asked for this in this particular way. Then you can ask the new thing in a similar fashion to get your result. So that's actually really cool. Other things over here, there's the managed environments thing. I think we saw that earlier, so I'm just going to pause on that. We're not going to look at that again. Most of this happens to do with, yeah, that's the same one. Same video. What else we have over here? On the apps, AI, oh, here we go. The AI generated deployment notes. This is the one that I thought was really cool, because I'm an, let's just say we're admin-y. We love being admins. And this particular, using Copilot to generate deployment notes in the pipeline. So essentially, they just added an extensibility in the pipeline that said, go ahead and create the notes and let the AI generate it. You basically tell the AI to just go ahead and generate the piece that's right over here. So let's go take a look at that. You see that over here? You'll see your pipeline, and then there'll be a point where it says generate notes before you deploy. What's useful about that? Documentation is probably one of our biggest failings for a lot of folks that are developers already. And we have the makers coming in. They're probably really good at documentation, but if they get busy, even the makers will eventually be like, oh man, too much stuff. I'll do it later. I'll catch up to it. Your AI friends are there now to help you. So I wanted to show this one in particular. And you'll see this article is dated actually before the conference. All right, the Copilot is in there, but when they generated this article, even though it's dated 9/28, they announced it on 10/3. So the folks that knew that this article was there were like folks like MVPs and everything else. They just kept it quiet until the actual conference. All right, let's see. Anything else in the announcements? Yeah, there's some more. Modern experiences, refresh look on the modern. Oh yeah, so there's this one is in August though. In a lot of cases, they're just repeating. Even though we're announcing this here, we are just reminding you that this is some stuff that we did recently. We didn't quite announce it, or we like sort of like it came through, but we're now giving you an update. In this particular case, look at that. They updated this article 10/17, which means, wait a minute, after the conference, they still made an update. They're showing you all the new controls that are over here. Some of you might have been reluctant to use the new controls because they seem to be missing features that you were used to in the old controls. They're catching up and they're working their way in. So they're just showing you here all the different stuff that comes in. So this is the Fluent Design bits that are in there. Definitely something that was covered at the conference, and they said, let's talk about it. Let's make it like part of the announcements. Oh, this one over here. Again, you see how it says recently announced. In some cases, though, some of these announcements were not announcements. They were just reiterating things that sort of came by. The concept of the offline Canvas app was out there before. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. No comments, really? Okay. All right. That's fine. All righty. That's taking a look at that. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these things in action over here. We talked about like the Power Automate Studio has changed. And we'll make this a little bit bigger so we can see. All right. Before I do that, I think I showed this to everyone last time. But there's a place. There's a place for samples on for Power Platform samples. You probably heard of that. And the big one now is a place for the prompts. So go to aka.ms.Power Platform prompts. Did I type it in right? Yes. So this is the Power Platform prompt library. The idea is if you want to try a prompt that was used to create a Power App, a Power Automate, or a Power Page, or one of those, you can come over here to this site and check it out. Hold on, let me get this bigger again. All right. So you'll see the different prompts. So here, there's different prompts, and there's a DALL-E generator. There's a custom feedback generator, an email generator. I want to act as an assistant. I'll provide you this, and then you put in your text in there, and you copy paste it. So, for example, if I go to like Power Platform over here, I'm going to look for Power Automate Copilot. This is a common one. So on the Power Automate Copilot, so here's one for expense reimbursement approval system, or here's one for lead follow-up, or here's one for low inventory notification or timesheet approval. Let's take this one. So I can take this, copy it, or go into it in more detail. Let me go view this content. Check it out. Where does it take me to? It takes me to GitHub. GitHub is a very important thing, by the way. They didn't announce anything about GitHub, but a lot of the demonstrations that they were talking about and things they were showing is the fact that GitHub is the way to go for showing a lot of this stuff. So you can copy, paste, and do all that stuff. But right now, I'm just going to copy this information right here is all I wanted, right? I'm going to go to my Power Platform area and paste it in here. And you see where it says, build a workflow that routes employees' timesheets submitted in, and then over here, it says SharePoint, submitted in Teams. A Teams channel, the main Teams channel, employee times in the main Teams channel. Oh no, not the main Teams channel. In the timesheet folder of OneDrive. Let's try that. For approval, OneDrive, let's spell it. Well, I think it wouldn't matter. For approval, the manager approves, send another approval to HR. If he rejects, okay, let's go ahead. Let's try out this prompt. Uh-oh, or it's, this is interesting. Rephrase. That didn't work out, so that's pretty good. So we're going to send feedback because it didn't like it. That's interesting. We're very dissatisfied because it did not even try, and we took the prompt from the samples. All right, and go ahead. And here's the sentence, is right there. Submit. So by the way, please do use this because they actually, things get fixed when they actually use it. So let's go back. I'm going to paste that in here again. I want to work. I'm going to say, I want a workflow that routes employee timesheet submitted in. And I'm just going to keep it SharePoint because that's what they had earlier. That must have worked. A SharePoint list. SharePoint list. See if it does better for approval in the work for employee. If the manager approves, send another approval to HR. If the manager rejects, let's go see. Not liking it, and all I can think of is that perhaps my feature is not working here in the developer environment. Let's try one more thing. I'm going to give it a shot here in my training environment. And I will go to office.com. Hello. Let's get in there. Let's go ahead and sign in. Should remember my sign in over here. Which one is this one? 222649. Stand by, folks. Let's go find it. Let's go find it. Stand by, please. It's all our favorite friends. Let's be a moment. So many passwords, so little time. Oh, 222649 is dead. Oh, sorry. I apologize. Let's go to try this again to a different place. Let's instead of 222649, let's go to this one, 2788472. Is that a good one? Yes, it is. And we go again to office.com. And it might just authorize us automatically. That's why it died. And there it is. We go to Power Automate. And so if you're trying this now, you'll find out you're going to Power Automate anyway on the places. I'm going to say the reason why that didn't work on the other side is because the environment was not ready. And I did that willy-nilly on a tenant that I haven't been to all for the week. And I thought that it would be probably in release mode. One of the things that we look at for these environments is they have to be enabled. So you see how like this looks a little bit different than the last one? The last one had more information. This one actually looks different. Let's go ahead and we're going to call it SharePoint as it is. See if this is going to do a lot better. What we use for a hackathon. Hopefully it will still remember. All right, this time it's working on it. All right, this is what should have happened on the other side. So we know this works because we saw it working somewhere, but take a look. That was that approval. So it's giving us, here we go. When an item's created, it's going to basically get the manager and wait for an approval under these conditions, point to send mail. So I'm like, okay, I could also say, show a different suggestion. All right, same thing, but this time under these conditions. So it doesn't have the get the manager piece over here. And this one, it gets puts more conditions and perhaps for the manager. Let's go to the previous. It gives you 3 suggestions, by the way, or you have to ask again from scratch. I like this one because it actually does get the manager. So I'll say next. And it's taking a look. Do you have everything you need? Now you have to sign in and everything else. Let's go ahead, create the flow. All right, this is the new studio. This is it. So I'm taking a look over here and I'm going to see what does it need. And you'll see how it says invalid parameters. It needs information for this to get through. So maybe the parameters that get manager. Oh, so it's over here. So I have to enter a user over here and you'll see how this has changed. Look at that, the dynamic content. There's none available for this. So I actually have to put in a formula based on something. All right, I'm just showing you the differences over here. For advanced parameters, it's show all. Okay, let me save what I have so far. I'm gonna save. Let's see. And it says, okay, I know it's invalid, but can you just save it? Well, let me save it. All right. By the way, here's the Copilot to be able to add stuff right over here on this side. That's what we're seeing over there. I'm just going to call it approval test for now, and then let's hit the save. I'm not very sure if it's going to even save it. It probably won't. Let's go ahead and we're going to open up Power Automate again, and we'll see if it even did it. Because I want you to see this over here as what happened, because I'm doing what the first thing most folks would think. It's like, well, I just want to look at this again later. I like what it did, but I'm not ready to fill those parameters. Can I just walk away and do it again later? According to this, am I in the right environment to begin with? Nope, I am not. And did I open up Power Apps? I was supposed to open up Power Automate. And it should take me to that same directory. And if I go to my flows, I may not see it because it didn't save because it was an error. In fact, it did not. So the first thing that you noticed that in this new system, it's very unforgiving for you to create and make through the pieces. You have to fill in these parameters at the very least. So like a site address over here. And I'm entering a custom value. It's going to have to be a site that actually exists for that to work. And notice it doesn't have any of the helpers to be able to put it in. All right. The list name, because I have to select the site, it won't be able to go. So a lot of this stuff, I have to be ready. So here's another word of warning when you're using this. In some cases, think about parameters that you might need, and you may have to go outside and set them all up. It might take a while, so you might as well get that stuff in order before you're ready to go. All right. Otherwise, what are the old versions used to look like? Let's go look at one of the old versions. So this is one of the old versions over here. So I'm going to go into here, and I'm going to go into edit so you can see the old studio version. Here's the old studio version. You see the difference? You see the difference, right? All right, so I want to work with something over here, right? So say I want to, for example, change that information over here. You see that experience? I mean, I'm not trying to make something work or fail or anything like that. I'm just showing you how different it is. So if you're going through a training and you learn this way, and then all of a sudden you went through the other one, it's like, whoa, what's it doing? Why is it not doing it the way I expected it? And here's why. Because there is a difference. Now, wait a minute. What did we just see? We just saw that even though there was a new experience, the old experience still exists. And so your next tip is that the new experience, all right, is only when you enable the Copilot. The Copilot works with the new experience. So you see this Copilot over here? If you're using the Copilot to help you, the new experience is what you'll get. If you just want to just muck around without the Copilot, it's going to be the old experience. All right. Okay. So that one's a good one to show. Let's do the Power Apps one over here. So here's Power Apps. Again, doing the developer environment. Let me go to that that one area again with the Power Platform prompt library. While I was there, April Dunham herself was demonstrating this prompt library. This is her child, I guess, is in the best way as far as one of her apps that she's put together is this particular area. Her, Daniel Laskowitz, and a few of the other folks. This is one of the best things that they put together. They even created an app for collecting prompts, by the way. If you want to go into Power Platform samples, go check it out. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of these samples over here. Let me go find under Power Platform. I believe I have a Power App one over here. Let's go see if I can find the one that I did. Customer feedback, event registration, email generator. No, I don't see it over here. I can try looking for it, but I can't remember what it is. There's a prompt generator, I think, is the basic one. There's a proofreader, a regex generator. It should be over here somewhere. Stack Overflow post, timesheet approval. Let me go over here and say social or media. Huh. Someone might have renamed my post. Let's go take a look. Let's go to prompts. SVG, timesheet, expense reimbursement, IT assignment, lead follow-up, the plagiarism detector, the proofreader, timesheet approval. I think I went through the same things over here. Let me go refresh, stand by. Lead follow-up. Not exactly sure why that one is not here. There is this one over here. Stack over one of program related questions. No, that's not. That's the Stack Overflow post. Need to follow the Power Platform one. For whatever reason, I don't see it. Let's take out the filters. All right, one moment. It was called social media poster. I know we had the email generator. I saw that one before. That's an automated event registration system. That's a workflow. Generated ticket. Solve my problem. That's for a bot. Because even the Power Pages one I don't see here anymore. They might have pulled some out and discovered that some of them are not working, but let's go find out. Plagiarism detector. PowerFX interpreter, GPT prompt generator. This one I remember working on. The proofreader. Look at a block of text. Regex generator. SVG generator. Wiki page. You name a topic. Automation SVG designer. Stack Overflow poster, SVC. Let's try this again. One moment, please. One more time. And I'll notice as I select that, I should have been able to see something. So these are for Power Automates. There's only 2 of them. All right. Azure OpenAI. This one I've done that one before. That's the one I want. I don't need to show that one. That's the one I don't want to have to show that one because that one's sort of like, yeah, it's just a prompt thing. It's not the same, but I'm noticing that on the Power Platform, they're not showing which one is an app, which one is for a Power Page, or which one's something else. So let me go over here to the view content over here, because that'll take me right over here to the Power Platform prompts. In fact, look at this. There's a whole bunch more things that are in here. In fact, look at this: Power Automate, Power Apps. And this is the one that I did. It's up here. All right, so this is the one that I created. And for whatever reason, the site is not, I'm going to maybe have to send a change request on it. But over here, as you can see, there's all the stuff that I had to do to post for it. But if I go back to it, here is the information. Here's the README that we're looking at. Here's the text for it. Here's the prompt. Here we go. And I know this is what I was looking for. So I found it. I know. Let me make it bigger so you can see it in the screen. All right. So this is the prompt that I created. And now I go to Power Apps. And let's go ahead and do it again. Are we in the same place? No, let's go to the new place that I have. That's working. All right. I'm a product manager who wants a social media tracker for our, and then it's there, I put there start text. I'm for our cloud apps. And I'm going to say cloud apps made for React. All right. Track important metrics to keep track of all the stuff. Okay, fine. On the social. And I'm just going to hit play. Check it out. Working on it. And there's the data with all the pieces. It's like, please add 10 more rows with sample data. Add a column with the name of the marketing person in charge. Notice I said two different things, right? More rows and the name of the marketing person in charge. Did it? There we go. And more data and rows. Great, beautiful. All that's fine. Let's go ahead and create the app. Let's make the app come on. Getting things ready for you. And here's our Canvas app ready to go. By the way, it should default it into the classic controls for now. The Copilot is over there to help me add stuff on the side. This is still in preview mode, but it'll probably go live about Ignite time. But right now, this is one of the things that they announced, that this went into full preview. That means other people, without asking for it, can now see it. See, I can add an email screen. So I can say, well, just go ahead, add an email screen. Go ahead, just make an email screen. Look at that, made a whole screen. Let's see what it does. All right, these are the old traditional controls that we're seeing over here. If we wanted the modern controls, I'd have to actually go into settings over here. And I believe that's over here now. Yes, it is. It's over there. Move the cheese. And if I go to upcoming features, is everything turned on here? Everything's turned on. Oh, maybe not. Hold on a second. Modern controls. Here we go. This one you actually have to turn on still. The other stuff they have turned on. So let me close it out. and I have to probably refresh. Let's see. Let's go ahead and save it. And I'll refresh it. Let's make it big. Come on. It's going all around the world, taking a trip, coming back, visiting every Azure station in the world. And that should have been turned on. I don't. Oh, there. Well, there's the Copilot stuff right in here. But let me double check over here with my settings. Make sure that it is upcoming features has been turned on. Copilot component, modern controls. Oh, I put that on. Hold on a second. That should have stayed on. It did not. It's not an experiment. Know that. Okay, nope. Here's the preview features. I turned it on. Let's check it again. Did I really turn it on? Modern controls, there it is. Close. Save. Save. I can, hold on a second. It didn't save, huh? I want to replace the existing app. See, it's not even letting me do the proper save as a different thing. So I want to save, I'm going to save it here, replace. There we go. All right, publish it. Hold on a second. Go ahead, go ahead. Got it. And what's not showing over here yet is when I hit the plus sign, the modern controls are, here we go, there we go. Now it's working. Classic controls, modern controls. There's a big difference in how they look, and I'll give you an example. I did create a new screen, right? Did we add a? Oh no, it didn't save that screen that we had earlier because probably it saw us call it a new name. All right, so and I think we went into the. Even the Copilot's not showing up anymore over here. There it is. We want to add an email screen one more time. Coming up. Sometimes when you see the actions on here, it's good to see them see things break. There's the email screen, by the way, as it put it in. And if I wanted to do, well, here's like, for example, a certain kind of control. This would be like a label control, an old one. Let's go ahead and we're going to add a text label over here. Did you see? Look at this. You see this over here? Conditional formatting that shows up. It's one of the things you can do. What's different with that text label control and like one of the old ones? So I'm going to insert again. I'm going to go to modern. Wait, look, modern doesn't have a text label control. It just has a text or text input. Let's go ahead and add the text. Firstly, take a look. You may not be able to see this very well. Let me make it bigger so you can see it a little bit better. Oops. That's not helpful. Stand by. I want you to see the control. What happened to the control here? Did you see the font changed off the bat? And let me take this out. Let me just delete this so it's out of the way. Just want you to see this label of the different things. These labels actually have different properties on how they work. You see how it's called label 1, and this one's called text canvas. Label 1, text canvas. Did they move the cheese? Oh, yes, they did, in a big way. So if you're going to use the modern fluid controls, I'm warning you now, they will have new names, new stuff. So this is the stuff that came out. They announced this stuff coming out at the conference. The announcements, for good or ill, you need to be aware, and so you can see what's going on with how this is happening. I think we're going to add one more thing on here. Let me make this small again really quick because it's too high. All right, let's go here. And we're going to do a new screen. Just give me a blank screen. Yes. And I'm going to add another. I'm going to insert something. And table, Dataverse only, Copilot preview. Let's see. Yes, Copilot preview. Let's go ahead. All right, we pointed to the social media trackers. All right, coming right in here, and take a look now. Look at that. You can add. It's going to be. It's pointing to this data source, the social media trackers. But maybe for the website, I can add https x.com. I don't know if it'll work, right? I'm just going to add that in there, and it's like. So now I'm going to test this, and oh, let's go see our data. Let's go visit our data for just a moment on the main screen. So there's announcements, positive, the marketing person. Let's sort of. I'm not sure what kind of question I can ask. I'm just trying to think of what's a good question to ask. Metrics, impression, and announcements, positive. Social media metrics. Hold on. So let's go hit play here. Let's see what kind of information we have on each of these items. App 1. Okay, so the clicks announcement effect was positive, was neutral, and that which means that if I go from one app to the next, I can know which ones. What was the announcement effect of Jessica's app? Let's find out if it can ask that. Let's go find out. Let's go close out. Go with this. Let's see what we can do. Copilot can ask questions. Let's go hit play. Which apps had positive outcomes? Oh, no, it didn't like it. I've been finding this is also the other one, so I'm going to say, no, that was bad. What is the most current app posted? Ooh, it doesn't like it. Something is wrong. So I have another thing that's going wrong over here. But the whole idea of this is it's supposed to be able to look at your data. And in this case, though, I pointed it to Twitter. What kind of posts? What is trending? Well, I'm going to see what is. I'm just guessing that this will or probably will not work. Yeah, it's just basically. I think I'm having trouble with my requests that are coming in. But we'll stop it at that point. Unfortunately, I won't be able to troubleshoot that right now. But the whole point over here is like if you saw in the settings, let me close out for just a second. What I've tried to demonstrate over here is the settings, the fact that you can go up to 4 websites and add them in. You have to test them, of course. And in some cases, like you saw those errors over here, it's a case of like, are we using the right things or anything else? This is all new, so expect this stuff to not always work the way they should. So is this a good control? Actually, I'm not going to score on it right now. Just wanted to give you an idea on what's changed. I think the big one that I want you to take away over here is take a look. See the difference. Check it out. So here's the label property. Look at all the stuff you can do with label. But look at the new text canvas property. Holy smokes, it's a whole lot less. So you're like saying, well, how is that more advanced? Wasn't it more advanced when I had more things to do? Well, here's the thing. With text canvas, I could apply a theme to this. And the reason why I didn't want to have all those controls is because I can apply a theme and control from the higher level. That eliminates the need to actually do all of these individual items all separately. Instead, I can go ahead and pick a theme and go. That was the idea. All righty. I think we're gonna stop it there. Let's go back to the presentation for just a moment.
Yeah, we're at 6:57, Ralph. So
All right, we're at perfect time. Let's go ahead and
winding it
start.
up.
We'll find a closer over here. All right, some helpful blogs and videos going forward. Here's some more information on Power Platform and the Copilot. All these problems that you saw over there that I ran into, I'd probably be going back to the blog and saying, hey, you know, I tried to do this in the community, and unlike my regular work, this stuff was breaking. Can you help me and figure out what's going on? I'll go figure it out. There's Ignite coming around. By the way, Ignite's free to attend virtually. It's nothing.
It is also sold out if you wanted to. If you thought you might want to go in person.
Yeah, not happening. It's very sold out, even for partners and stuff. We can't even send extra people to it. So yeah. Understanding this is an April Dunham one that's coming in. It's actually, this is a good one. You know what this is? This is one of those live YouTube shows. Go to it and then ask those questions and challenge them right there. They're actually pretty good at getting stuff. And she has the power of the battleship behind her, so she can come up with whatever fixes. The other one is, of course, Reza Durrani. Reza has now suddenly come back into favor, having hit 100,000 subscribers most recently. He is being pushed now to new limits on that side. So between April and Reza, those are the two big ones for looking for live shows that are coming through. All right, now we're ready for the last segment. If anyone has any questions, you can bring up the L word if you want, or you can say, I'm trying to make this work and it won't work for me, or maybe this will, maybe this won't. We give our live studio audience a chance to ask questions. And of course, everyone's now all gun shy. Yes, yes, yes. No.
Are no questions. Thank you all.
All right, that's okay. As they say, sometimes everything you said is in. We'll leave you with one last slide, which is a quick way to link to all our places to get there quickly. Our LinkedIn Power Users group. And if you're here on the meetup, that's okay. That still works. That will be working for quite a while.
Yeah, we have over. We took the number down, but we have over almost 600, almost 700 people in the group on Meetup. So
imagine if they all showed up.
Yes, we'll have to keep that for a while.
By the way, Teams can handle it. Go figure. All right, we're going to ask Raquel to, as they say, stop the show at this point, and we can catch up on the social media later. But for the folks that are here, if there's now, as soon as Raquel hits the stop, it won't be out on social media, right, Raquel? Did you hit the stop? Okay. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Let's say bye. Craig, go say bye. Thank you. Come back next time.
Thanks for
by the way, watch out for the next hybrid session that will be announced, where there will be food if you're in Chicago. If you're in the United States and you just happen to perhaps be a speaker at that session, perhaps the pizza will come to you. Just a thought. If you're interested, let us know. Give us a ping. All right. Ping is the thing.